the class 17 are upstairs right now.
Yeah.
Like it?
I mean, your computer's working, but we can't get to it.
You open it up?
So this is great.
It's gonna get harder than down here. Where the hose?
They left, that they turned off there.
No, I'm not Kelly.
This is my dad.
Hello, Suzanne. Nice to meet you. Likewise. Very good to meet you. Oh, thank you so much. I know she's enjoyed working here, so.
Doing a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Meredith, is this my power cord? Yes, it is. Do you need it? Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
We saw a lot. We saw a lot. No, we actually lived in Charlotte. Like we started the papers and stuff here. I come on, let you know what's going on.
Oh, wait, this one.
She's close to her dad. Down there. She's got a job. So, it works out.
I have a lot of family in Richmond.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. It's fun.
You want to actually see one back here? Oh.
I definitely will.
She was like,
Hi, Roberta. How you doing? Nice to meet you. My pleasure.
Extra work today.
Oh, okay. Got
Hey,
it.
do you like Roberto?
we have somebody who's gonna control this one.
We will find someone.
And you look really good.
Swallow.
Combination. That's right, yeah. He's a little sluggish now.
Yeah?
We have a job for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's super fun,
You'll get to be,
controlling everything.
yes. You will be master control.
Okay, so basically, usually we have these two screens going. So we're using it from two computers, so two PowerPoints. Somebody's doing this PowerPoint,
Oh, yes.
pressing that, you are able to do the keep pressing that.
What's my rhythm?
So here, let me show you the order. So here, come look at the program actually.
So I'll pay it. Yeah.
So
Should be good. Yeah.
the way it works, and I'll actually be over there, so I'll be able to nod at you and be like, okay, now's the time. So here's the schedule. So Brady's gonna give a welcome, then Avase is gonna speak, he's back from Pakistan, then we're gonna have our keynote address, then we're gonna give out some awards. So it's not actually until close to the end of the ceremony that we start giving out these certificates to class 20 or whatever, class 17. And so near the end, then we'll start moving through the slides, and it will go like through the fellows and appeal, a vase, we'll click through each side, and then, you know, when Akil's there, he comes up and gets his little board. So you hold it on Akil on Akil's slide for a minute.
So it's quite intuitive.
Yeah, it'll be pretty intuitive. Near the end, there's superlatives. And so with those, it's like they come, it's like a surprise, like we're announcing an award. So there'll be an award, like you'll have to click for each part, so you'll post up going. And you click again and see this photograph pops up and nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
So Meredith is in charge of our programs team, which is responsible for all of our fellows.
Oh,
Visa
okay.
stuff, any fellow support while they're here, insurance, all that stuff.
Oh. That's a call.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Gosh, darn.
And you met Roberta.
Yeah.
Let's see, and then Evans around the corner.
So,
You gotta meet
yeah,
him.
it's pretty intuitive, but yeah, near the end, like, each slide will actually have multiple clicks. So you'll click the slide like a couple times for each.
Videos, videos are gonna pop up like.
Yeah, exactly. I can show you on the one back
Yeah,
here.
can we just.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
So it's one slide for each. For each.
This line, that's motivator. It's gonna pop up. That's motivator. Yeah, and we also think that's the end. And then there's. It's like when they, you know, when they do the Oscars.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So like, you know, there's like the award goes to, and the Oscar goes to. Things like that, yeah.
Okay, so just,
Yeah. Exactly, yeah, exactly. And, yeah, I'll be able to sort of help direct you. And let me, you can actually pull up.
Okay. Oh, here's the number.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna be, and, well, actually, this has to stay here. So we're gonna
Here?
bring this chair. So,
This
you're
here.
gonna have to-
Okay.
And underneath there, that's where all the digital.
Yes.
I really gonna be the one giving out the certificates and the pictures to the graduates on this side. So at a certain point, the ceremony, he's gonna come and give those over here, and you can just handle it.
Okay, I'm sorry, so, after the.
Oh, so it's not the whole presentation, the halfway mark, Evan's gonna go over here.
Okay.
So halfway.
And, should we speak here?
Yeah, dress and bring the phone.
Yeah.
You can't let.
Oh, hello. Hi, it started. We're live streaming, guys. Be careful what you say.
Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah.
What did you cover?
I'm actually no, but it's nice that the rain started in an hour. So it's like, okay, I held off all day and I was kind of hoping it would be at least it's the bus was a little slow. Another ambassador texted me saying that it was just really slow traffic. So, but I was in the metro, so it was fine. Okay, got it. Well, it's part of life, right? Of course.
That's good. What's your
Oh, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Claro que están andando. Oh, yeah. Yeah, now.
Yeah.
They're under.
So.
Did you see the one? Decided to sit up well, she wants to see us, right? That's what we do. That's right. Let's get to the back.
It's good. Day off. I didn't.
You didn't what?
I didn't want to go.
Yeah. United was my soul. Did you bring flowers?
I got flowers.
Flowers?
Well,
And just put her name to that? So I was looking at the menu for dinner, and I was reading it out loud.
oh,
You like it? Okay, check it out.
It's in Chinatown.
Yeah. I like Are you
It doesn't get that. I'm gonna be actually.
Phil? It's a lot of work. But so it's funny. It's how
That's not even a thing. So most of these are like
yeah.
I mean, he was already in like, you know, how do we get this? Look at applications. We can look at applications and we can fit this time, but if we look at applications for the next class, nobody was a good fit. But right now, we'll for the next one. Because it's also hard. It works out well because we didn't have lost on money. So it's hard to find right people that don't receive that. So, like, in a sense, I mean, you have to have money. Tends to happen.
Yeah.
All right. Organizations. A lot of these are like yes, he does.
So now very good away. You know why? It's not the guest dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you were yeah.
Really? Oh, really? I thought that was ready.
Yeah, that's cool. No, speech is I am doing a blog for not now, but like I'm writing a blog and I have to deliver it by I might be
Do a recon and let us know what sounds good. Just do a recon and let us know what sounds good.
I always exercise the
All right, welcome and good evening, everyone. Tonight, we are all gathered here to congratulate 21 professional leaders who have dedicated the last year to service away from their home country. On behalf of Atlas Corps and our fellows, I thank you for joining us in tonight's celebration of service. It's important for us to recognize the journeys that our fellows have just completed. When explaining to what they will feel when they first read bios, two thoughts will go through their minds. One, wow, they're incredibly talented. And then the second one that inevitably, and they're how, oh my goodness, what have I X amount of years on it? But what to me is telling how amazing our fellows are is the thought behind as we sit here today celebrating the completion of their fellowships. As incredible as all of these individuals were prior to their fellowships, they have overcome more challenges, learned more skills, and grown in more ways during the last year than many people do in their lives. And they couldn't have done it without all of you. We are thankful to everyone in this room for the different roles that you have played in supporting our fellows, challenging them, and in fostering their professional and personal growth. To our host organizations, local ambassadors, embassy representatives, partners, and friends, thank you all for being a part of this experience. And now, I'd like you to all please join me in giving a warm welcome to our graduating Atlas Corps Fellows from 14 countries. All right. Hello, Atlas Corps Fellows. We are so excited to welcome you here tonight because tonight we celebrate you. We celebrate your growth during the last 12 months, both professionally and personally. We celebrate your determination and your dedication to the social sector, despite having to leave your families and previous jobs. We celebrate all that you've overcome, that you've learned. Proud of all of you. Thrilled that you will forever be our family. Hello, fellow Ernesto Celayandia, reflects early blogs writing. I think the ability to is a key aspect of the community that we live in nowadays. This goes beyond the language, particularly important about the nonprofit sector. Understanding on topics development, poverty, human rights, and sustainability are different. Even our definition of happiness is diverse. It's different throughout cultures, throughout nations. Professional exchange programs allow us, as activists, NGO leaders, and members of civil society organizations, to better understand each other as a first step so that we can act and work together to solve the world's greatest problems later. Well, Ernesto, and the rest of our graduating fellows, you have all officially taken that first step with the completion of your fellowship. And I think I speak for all of us here in celebration of your achievements when I say that I can't wait to see where your next steps take you. Remember that as you continue along on your career and life journeys, your Atlas Corps community will always be here to support you. But enough about the future, because tonight is about celebrating and reflecting upon your last 12 months as fellows. And who better to help us with that perspective and reflection than one of our graduating fellows. Please join me in welcoming Avais Shirani, a Class 17 Atlas Corps fellow from Pakistan, who has been serving at the Center for Environmental Health in New York City.
Thank you, Brittany. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to have you all present at this auspicious occasion. I would like to start by thanking my fellow fellows from Class 17 and graduating fellows of Class 18 to speak on your behalf. I would also like to extend my congratulations to you for creating a prestigious Atlas Corps Fellowship. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be a part of because Class 7 is a unique. That it is the last class that has 14 countries representing 4, and this is the largest class in its year of service. I really admire the grit and determination that has been the hallmark of our success stories that we have gathered here to celebrate today. For many of us, coming to the United States and serving at these incredible nonprofits was the first real move out of their comfort zones. And I must say, it's really pertinent here to mention that as soon as we stepped out into this alien environment, we were ready for the challenges. We adapted to the highly diverse culture that we experience in the United States. We overcame the language and dialect barriers. And above all, we adjusted to the new and totally different working conditions of the United States and our host organizations. And I must say, one thing also needs to be highlighted again for Class 17. A year ago, we arrived in the United States in the midst of the worst weather that the United States was experiencing in, people say, almost 2 decades. So it's really, would have been better had we arrived in the weather that we are experiencing now. But anyhow, it's really great to see that each one of you has really lived up to the expectation and to the name that was given to us as an emerging global leader fellow of an Atlas Corps Fellowship. Supposed to clap for yourself. Thank you. As we continue the stories, I guess it's knowledge the program through which this opportunity to come to the United States for metal. And I must say, among its many achievements, one of the best things that Atlas Corps has really is to build a network of non-profit leaders across. So each fellow of Atlas Corps, because each fellow has connections to over 400 fellows working in different parts of the world in diverse sectors, and and having access to those people is one of the biggest strengths that our Atlas Corps fellows have now today. So I would say that Atlas Corps is not just a fellowship program. It's an initiative that is really helping us in uniting nations, breaking barriers, and creating positivity, spreading positivity across the globe through all its ambassadors. And we as the fellows are part of those ambassadors. Finally, I would like to extend my gratitude to the US Department of State, to all our Atlas Corps donors and our partner organizations, host organizations, for helping us in making this world a better place. And special thanks to each member of the awesome Atlas Corps team for their continuous support and making this year a wonderful year for us. Two names I would really like to mention: Julie Sherbill, our program manager. Julie has been always there for us, an email or a phone call away, and her each email is full of wonderful emotions. We have to go through tough times, but still, and someone really awesome. I would really like to clap Abby. And they're like the main source of positivity in Atlanta. Never know when the time out. Abby is always there with her wonderful support for coming here today. And my fellow fellows, class 17, and very much. Thank you everyone for blessing us with your presence. Thank you.
Thank you, Avais. And now, as we continue on our night of celebration and reflection, I'd like to introduce our founder and CEO, Scott Gill.
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. 17 classes, very exciting. And there are some members of Class 18 who are also celebrating service and graduating tonight as well. You know, for us, this was a huge year. For those who came as part of 17, Class 17, they were the launch of the White House Atlas Corps Partnership, the Emerging Global Leaders Initiative Atlas Corps Fellowship. A partnership that was kicked off at the Clinton Global Initiative over a year ago and first inaugurated and celebrated at State Department in January, almost 12 months ago. And these were our first fellows to represent in some ways, the ultimate endorsement of our work. But really not so much the endorsement of our work, but rather our community, our host organizations, our local ambassadors of our volunteers, our incredible team, but most of all, our incredible fellows. So I will be somewhat concise, although actually I think our VIP speaker might be running a little bit late, so maybe I'll be less concise until somebody lets me know when he arrives. But I really wanted to just briefly leave you with the same words that we welcomed you with. And for those that are new to Atlas Corps, or for those that have, you may not have heard this, but for everyone else, you know it quite well. You know, what Atlas Corps is recognizing that all around the world are talented, passionate people who want to make the world a better. So in my time at State Department serving in India, what I saw in my time in Bosnia, Pakistan, India, and Mexico, and Colombia, smart, talented, who want to go to a better place. Talent is you. Opportunity is not. White male born in this to teachers who loved me and wanted to. I was born with so many and so many others around the world. I could go to 106 needing a visa. Could volunteer in Eastern Europe when I was a teenager. I didn't even know I needed a visa until I got arrested on the Serbian border trying to visit a friend in the Peace Corps. That's a totally different story, and it's not on my permanent record. Don't worry. It's only just a little while in jail. You do need a transit visa though if you're going through Serbia. And what I saw from my experiences abroad was that while I was able to take my skill and take my passion to address social issues, to meet other people, to try to in some way make the world a better place, the people I was meeting around the world were so much more talented than I was, and for that matter, so much more talented than a lot of the people I was meeting in the United States as well. And while for 50 years, now 55 Americans have had the opportunities to serve overseas with the Peace Corps, the idea of people coming to serve here just wasn't happening. So 9 years ago, 17 classes ago, we launched Atlas Corps with this very basic idea. A talent's universally distributed, but opportunity is not. That the most effective way to address critical social issues in the world is by empowering leaders. And by empowering, what we mean by developing their skill sets and training them through our network, but also networking them and giving them the support that they need to be successful in the long term. Because social change is not a sprint. Social change is quite definitely a marathon. And that there were just logistics for this incredible community or family forming and growing organization with a sponsoring the visa, bringing them together, difficult logistics. So what we were able to do is take an idea, the support of so many people, some of whom all out to the world, just to be a part of this community, this fellowship. West India and Colombia expanded to over nearly 75 countries, United States, and sending to, you're the first to learn, the first for fellow to Australia. As we open up new franchise partners in Australia, next year we'll also be placing fellows in India as well. Showing again that what we're really talking about is taking talented individuals and giving them an opportunity to go outside of their comfort zone. Giving them an opportunity to challenge themselves in new ways. You know, they may have been the smartest person in their family, the smartest person in their school, the smartest person in their university. They go on in their entry-level job, they're the smartest person in their team there. But now they really want to challenge themselves on a global scale, on a way that previously they were never been told they were allowed to do. How often did somebody go to Bolivia and say, we want Bolivians to come serve in organizations here in the United States? How often, Wilson? Not so much. Certainly not enough. Certainly not enough. And with these fellows tonight, with 17 classes, we are just getting started with Atlas Corps. We're just getting started building this global community. And as we grow this alumni network, as we grow this organization, we can begin to bend the needle on the most critical social issues all around the world. Challenges that are only growing in front of us today, whether it's the rise of violent extremism or the rise of hate speech against Muslims in this country, whether it's natural disasters or whether it's global health pandemics or whether it's LGBT issues around the world, whether it's violence in the Palestinian territories or whether it's environmental issues trying to solve in Paris. It's going to solve those problems. This community is going to solve those problems. Network. Those challenges. When I worked in India on anti-trafficking, I was so inspired by the anti-trafficking leaders I met. Ashoka fellows, just incredibly inspired, in such a depressing and overwhelming. What I saw in my time in India of the world were at least as well networked anything else. You know, at least we're learning about suicide bombing from Sri Lanka, terrorists raising money from villainous networks in Europe. But the villains of the world were extremely well networked, not a full-fledged Austin Powers movie, but pretty well networked. And that while the business leaders and the academic leaders and the diplomats and the military generals were also well networked, what about the leaders of the world? And so this community, this network, this alumni community is what it is all about. So I have incredible confidence in all of you in this class that saw through the difficult winter and saw through the long summer, saw through the challenging times at the Global Leadership Lab and the high expectations your host organization put on you, that you're going to take that back and be even more impressive, even more talented leaders back in your home country. Because while many people will look at Atlas Corps and assume that the experience is the fellowship itself, the 12 months a fellow will spend in the United States, the fact of the matter is the fellowship's an excuse. It's a facade to create an alumni network. You've gone through that experience. Hopefully it shaped you and you've left a lasting legacy with your host organizations. But the expectation now and do even more. And you go back and stay connected, not because we're forcing you to be here at 8 in the morning for your Global Leadership Lab, not because we're expecting you to be here at 8, but because you will be an Atlas Corps Fellow for life. And so I'm hopeful that Sam has arrived. Can anybody in the back tell me if Sam is here? No. He's not actually here. So what we're going to do then, because I could actually talk for a very long period of time, we're going to do some of our awards. We'll do the awards first. We'll hear a few words from the ever-inspiring Dr. Sam Politicchio, who is arriving from Japan. It is actually close. So finals fellows can thank you for all that you've done for the fellowship already. Left your family, left your countries at a difficult time, but said, I want to grow, I want to expand myself, because I want to go back to my community even more for today's challenges, but tomorrow's. And know that you can always count on Atlas Corps, and hopefully you can count on each other to get challenges in the future. So congratulations in joining this alumni network. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone, and I want to add my congratulations to Class 17 and our few Class 18 fellows who are up here. I hope that you've heard so far this evening from Brittany, Vice, and Scott has been that all of this is possible because of our network of support from host organizations to local ambassadors, volunteers, interns, and donors. And right now we want to take the opportunity to honor 3 exceptional and distinguished partners. And I'd like to begin with our host organizations. Atlas Corps' host organizations are critical partners in our mission to utilize global service as a means to develop leaders, strengthen organizations, and promote innovation. They host our fellows, providing them with critical leadership development opportunities, challenging assignments, and serve as a valuable network for all of our fellows and for the Atlas Corps community. The American Red Cross exists to provide compassionate care to those in need. Their network of generous donors, volunteers, and employees share a mission of preventing and relieving suffering here at home and around the world. As a host organization, the American Red Cross has hosted 3 incredible fellows from Palestine, Sudan, and Mexico graduating today. The site supervisors from the Global Disaster Center have strengthened our network, providing critical advice to organizations about the Atlas Corps program organization to help other departments, global talent in the world. Award for distinguished partners is going to partner with for their contribution to Atlas Corps, their commitment to fellows, and service. So please join me.
This is being live streamed, so we're making you come here for our
Walk slow to draw it out.
fans. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for all your support. Let's take one quick picture with here.
Mona, come on. Okay. 1, 2. One more.
You guys are saying?
I
Put you on the spot.
think we're really pleased and proud to be part of the Atlas Corps family, and I think that the experience we've had hosting fellows to date has really just inspired us to do more with Atlas in the future. The relationships and the I guess collaboration we've had with the different fellows has been really inspiring, not just to our team, but the entire American Red Cross and to the different national societies and volunteers that work in our network.
Yeah, I think we're excited about the opportunities for the future. There have been lots of discussions about further expansion potentially. So yeah, it's kind of a whole new world.
We like this idea of branching out outside of the borders of the U.S.
Great. Thank you very much for your partnership.
At Atlas Corps, we also pride ourselves in building and strengthening partners. We're grateful to be partnered with the Middle East Policy, or TIMEP, for continued leadership to leaders to create a better future in the Middle East. Nonpartisan, nonprofit organization that's dedicated to raising awareness, advocacy, and in 2014, Atlas TIMEP to establish the Democracy Fellowship. Political commentator and analyst. particular fellowship is intended to create opportunities for journalists and researchers to expand their horizons and broaden their opportunities to education, exposure, and connection to the academic and policy worlds. Alice Corps has developed a multi-year partnership with TIMEP to bring a total of 12 Bassem Sabri Democracy Fellows to the US over the next 5 years. And TIMEP is hosting their second Bassem Sabri Fellow now and will be taking their third in January. Alice Corps is honored to join TIMEP in advancing their shared goals of developing emerging Middle Eastern change makers through long-term exchange in the United States. So please join me in recognizing our distinguished supporter and global service, the Tahrir Institute for Middle East Policy.
Thank you, Scott. A couple of quick words. We're very honored to be partners with the Atlas Corps. For us and me personally, the Bassem Sabri Democracy Fellowship is a big deal for us in TIMEP. Essentially, Bassem was a great young man who actually embodied all the things that are shared, all the values that are shared between Atlas Corps and TIMEP. And it was going to be impossible to get it done without Atlas Corps. So thank you for that. We're very honored to be your partner. Also, I want to thank my colleague, Sarah Abdurrahim, on our end, who would have certainly, this would have never happened without your help. So thank you for your partnership. We look forward to the agreement process.
Awesome. Thank you.
Last and certainly not least, the Distinguished Service Award is given to an engineer who has gone above contributions to Atlas. Today we honor who has served 3 terms with Atlas Corps. As an intern in Nick grant application, managing our donor and developing our alumni. His passion for global service has also commitment to our and dedication to program expansion. And then with partners in Colombia, like Hartford Change Colombia. Because of his hard work, NICRA has recruited and vetted over 120 candidates for our English Teaching Fellowship in Colombia. And 25 of these emerging professionals will be beginning their year of service in January because of his efforts. And they'll be engaged in a leadership development program and be delivering high quality bilingual education in Colombia. So please join me in recognizing our distinguished volunteer in global service, Nick Cortina.
I should also say that Nick helped out with my son for the last hour as well. We would have added that to the bio. Congratulations. Thank you.
No, thanks so much. You know, I started in the summer of 2014 when Alice Corps was already very well established, and just since then, seeing the growth has been incredible, getting the Emerging Global Leaders Initiative started and everything like that. And it's been such an honor and a privilege to really help contribute to Alice Corps' mission. I've been really inspired by the incredible team. And it's just been a wonderful opportunity for me, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Nick.
Welcome our keynote.
Without any further ado, it is my honor to introduce our keynote. Dr. Sam Podolichio is the Distinguished Professor of Global Leadership Studies at the Russian Presidential Academy in Europe and is president of the an international program with campuses in Macedonia, Jordan, and the United States. Dr. Podolichio, senior lecturer of Indian and a visiting professor at New York University. Dr. Podolichio is also the academic director of the Global Visiting Student Program and faculty member of programs in Serbia, Bulgaria, Croatia. He advises top political business leaders and governments in more than 20 countries, including CEOs, members of parliament, and high-ranking appointed officials in the Middle East, the Balkans, and Eastern Europe. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our keynote speaker for the celebration of service, Dr. Sam Potolicchio.
Thank you for the kind introduction. Class 17, congratulations. I need to thank Scott Beal for coming to the rescue. I literally just landed from Tokyo. We got stuck in customs. And the reason I'm here is because of Superman Scott. I want to congratulate Class 17 on their education. And typically, when I speak to educators, I ask them, what does the word education actually mean? Like most words in English, we steal it from the Latin. And education means to lead out, to get outside of your own perspective. And I think what's so beautiful about what you've accomplished here with Atlas Corps is this is foundational to the Atlas Corps creed. When you change your perspective, you change your world. And I also argue vice versa as well. When I typically do lectures on leadership and trying to prepare people for a very volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, I start with 3 songs. And I think some of you remember this. I play a song by Mitt Romney singing America the Beautiful. It's by President Obama. One is Al Green, I'm So in Love with You. The other one is Sweet Home Chicago, where he sings with the late B.B. King and Mick Jagger. And then I make the joke that the reason why Barack Obama won re-election in 2012 was because he's a better singer. There's some truth in this. If you look at the election, you might have predicted Romney would have won the election because he won on the economy. And he also was closer to the average American voter in terms of the policy. Was convincingly elected is that the American populace believed that he was a job. And he won the most important question in American politics, which is, who would you rather get a beer with? But the point that I make with these 3 songs is that juxtaposition, the contrast between the 2 candidates. And this is what leadership is. I typically ask people, do you know what charisma is? And everybody nods their head. And then I say, what is it? And nobody can define it. Usually they give that Justice Stewart pornographic description, which is, I don't know it, but I know it when I see it. And for me, I go back to the theological roots of charisma, which is that you're specially blessed. You have something special. And I speak directly to the class of 17 in saying this, is that there are certain leadership deficits that we have, and what you were able to accomplish, you're on the path to helping fill these deficits. First, empathy. Being able to travel into feeling. I always say visualize and approaching the bank. And everybody in a room, if they're from a metropolis, normally just pictures a woman going towards a financial bank. And then someone who might be from Cairo right on the Nile River will think of a woman going towards the riverbank. And then someone who comes from the hills of Lebanon might think a snowbank, or from the desert of Jordan, a dirt bank. And this group right here, and I know because I've exposed them to this question, they're more likely to be able to hold multiple perspectives in their mind at the same time. F. Scott Fitzgerald said the ranking of a first-rate intelligence is whether or not you could have 2 disagreeing ideas in your mind at the same time and still be able to retain the ability. There's no way that we can come up with these creative solutions unless outside of our own perspective. That transformational education of leading outside. To ask for your crayons back, to be a child in the world anew, to look at it with a fresh, and this is what you did, serviceships here, is to get a different experience and then be able to extract these principles, do what you're going to do back home on the global stage. This incredible optimism, despite the headlines, despite the obstacles and the frustrations that you the future. I like to tell the new CEO who sends 2 salesmen to an island. And One reports back, this is an absolute disaster. Nobody is wearing any shoes. The other shoe salesman, looking at the same situation, says, oh, this is an incredible opportunity. Nobody is wearing any shoes. And you're that second shoe salesman. And I'm humbled to have the opportunity to get to say goodbye to you as you move on. And I want to congratulate you on all your accomplishments. And I look forward to the day when you report back by saying, this was a great opportunity. I took advantage of it, and we solved some big problems together. Congratulations.
Right, and now I'll welcome Julie Sherbold to the stage, who, as you heard from praise from Avice, is in our programs department.
All right, so we are going to, I think Scott and I are both going to read along and have the graduation procession of our fellows. So yeah, let's give a big hand to start out for class 17. Okay, so first up we have Akhil Khurana. Next slide.
It's on her computer, but it's maybe delayed on.
Right.
It's
Look
right
to the left. We got it on that.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so Akhil has served at Creative Associates International and is going to actually be extending another Sarah Global. Creative Associates, Akhil supervisor still has brought energy and fresh perspective at Creative and on our e-learning initiative. Amazing set of broad talents from project management to outreach management to capacity building insights. He is expected by Creative Development Lab team and will be. Thank you, Atlas Corps, for helping provide a cross-cultural service. Rani, and at Center of Environmental Health in New York. And Avis supervisor said Avis Sharani has been the most persistent, helpful, and considerate fellow, and CEH is utterly grateful for him and for Atlas Corps for making the connection. So let's hear it for Avis. And next up, we have Babar Ali Malik, who is actually continuing his service back in Pakistan, helping his organization Pixaria Global implement their work there. Babar's supervisor said, we appreciated Babar's efforts in working with our organizational and contributing to us having more accurate and reliable data to report to our donors and other stakeholders. As tedious as it was, we greatly appreciate Babar's patience and perseverance. We would like to congratulate him and hope he's to work for purposeful global. So, and next up we have Ernesto Zella Human Rights Campaign. And Ernesto has been an integral part of HRC Global Team, making key connections with the Human Rights Campaign. He's been a to our strategic conversations. We will miss him and his positive energy. Okay, and next we Trelly at Save the Children Connecticut. And Esther supervisor said, It is amazing. Our partnership with Italy to a closer and deeper level of marketing communications to better engage and retain our donors. Esther has set a strong foundation that we can continue to build upon in the future. We look forward to her ongoing success and contributions to the world development. Okay, and next we have Esther Pinnock. And Esther is serving at Atlas Corps. Esther Supervisor Abby says, Esther embraced this opportunity to explore new skills, tools, and networks. She also infused her creative energies to enhance the image of Atlas Corps. It was a great team effort. In a word, awesome. And next up, we have Harriet Kazabu, who is also serving at Harriet's supervisor said, in planning and lab, 3 orientation training weeks, 18 web operations of service, including this. Hard work has benefited the entire community. Her dedication, positive attitude, and calmness under pressure are a huge asset to our training program. Harriet, we will miss you. Okay. Next up, we have Hyunjung Shin, and supervisor says H. Kelly Fund. Supervisor says H. Kelly has been a great partner for our organization, who not only showed a great performance developing her responsibilities, but helped other members of the team to grow. When you look for a partner to achieve new goals, you look for someone you can trust, and that we have found in H. Kelly. Next, we have Julia Jungmin Oh. She's serving at National Bureau of Asian Research. And Julia's supervisor says, during her time at NBR, Julia was instrumental in expanding our Korea-related research focus and was an overall fantastic member of our team. Next, we have Kaltuma Ahmed. She actually could not be with us today, but we really miss her. And she was serving at Voice of America. Her supervisor said Kaltuma is a real addition to the team. She's dedicated, determined, and a hard worker. She brings a rare female perspective to her work in South Sudan, where there are few female journalists. I wish her the best as she heads back home. We'll miss her here, and we have fond memories of her in an Atlas Corps, as an Atlas Corps fellow. And next up, we have and the supervisor said, Tito is energetic and focused to the news and has been DOA. His experience while reporting stories, forgetting sources is. We will miss him, and we wish him the best fellowship. And next we have Luther Jeket at Creative Associates International. Their supervisors said, a very dedicated and passionate person looking to learn and grow. He excels at building relationships and working collaboratively. Creative Associates has benefited tremendously from Luther's hard work, kindness, and eager willingness to share his unique knowledge and perspective. Next up, we have Maureen Loku, who is serving at Oxfam America in Boston. Maureen supervisor said, Maureen has been a great asset to the team, and it has been a joy to work with her. Her enthusiasm and expertise has truly added to Oxfam's work in gender justice, not only within headquarters in Boston, but with our programs on the ground in Senegal and Sudan. She has great leadership skills and works well in multifunctional teams. Great. And next we have Mohammed Astada, who also could not be here today. Mohammed was serving with Cure Violence, and his supervisor said, Mohammed has been a complete joy to work with. Cure Violence has benefited tremendously from his insights and guidance. We would not have been able to do what we did this year without his help and support. We will miss him and wish him well in his future endeavors. And next we have Rofaida Al-Zubair. Rofaida has been a solid asset to our team. She has a natural curiosity that match closely the principles of our order. She is extremely thoughtful and thorough, well-considered opinions. We are lucky that this is only in, and that we will have to continue to work with Rofaida. Next, we have Ruth Kim. She is serving at Pixera Global. Ruth here to work with Ruth on the global engagement of other Pixera Global events. She quickly showed commitment to our mission and willingness to work hard. We're excited that Ruth has chosen to extend her fellowship with us. We're looking forward to her continued work with our team in the new year. Next, we have Samita Thapa. She was serving at Tech Change. Samita's supervisor says, Samita has been an absolutely indispensable part of our Tech Change team this year. She has made a number of outstanding contributions to our communications and marketing efforts, including curating the Tech Change blog, which is read by tens of thousands of folks from all over the world. Her warm, energetic, and hardworking presence in the office will be greatly missed. Next, we have Sue O. And Sue is serving at Polaris here in DC. Sue's supervisor says, Sue joined our team during the time while we are most transitioning. She has showed stability, perseverance, and dependability. Sue's contributions to the team are numerous. If her performance is any indication of who she is, I'm confident she has nothing but success ahead of her in the future. All right, and next up we have Tarika Vaswani. So serving at Magic Bus. Tarika's supervisor said the sole reason, conceptualization, implementation, and maintenance of our CRM and under her talk to our 1,500 and 800 plus people in the CRM for the first time. She is the best, and we will miss her so much. All right, and next we have Tigis. She's serving at CARE International in DC. And Tigis' supervisor supervisor says, Tigges made a big controversy. Okay, and next up we have Wilson Saavedra. And his host organization was Heartland Alliance International in Chicago. Wilson's supervisor says, it has been a privilege working with Wilson. Wilson managed our sub-award system and developed new financial models that manage its growth. He has made himself invaluable, and I don't know what we'll do without him. All right, and now we are going to announce our relatives. So the Supreme Motivator, most likely to make everyone laugh, most culturally adaptable, and we have a So first up we have Best Motivator, and they are Okay, and next we have oh.
I didn't realize this was Here you go, ladies.
Okay, next up we have the superlative for the most transformed fellow, and it is Miss Tarika Okay, next up we have most likely to make everyone laugh. It is Okay, two more, nope, three more. All right, most outgoing. It is Samina. Okay, we have another tie for most culturally adapted. All right, and last but not least, their country, and it is.
Just 20 years, man.
Yeah. All right, and one more big congratulations to you. We'll really miss you. Okay, and for closing.
Yeah, let's bring me.
All you.
All right, all me. Well, thank you. One quick thing. So Luther from Liberia a year ago was almost at its height, and literally had to be away from his family to the United States. So the stuff, the backstory and the sacrifices and the challenges everyone goes through are just amazing. So celebrating all of them tonight, all of you. Thank you all for coming out. We have some, I believe, some cake and refreshments and things like that. So please congratulate the fellows, get to know the new ones, and thank you all for coming out. Happy holidays. Yeah, we're gonna do one big group picture of the fellows first, okay? We will do that right now.
Yeah, let's do it right now.
Come on up here for the group picture right now.